So when you're looking at purchasing a brush for a job, one of the things we're looking at is the thickness of the filament, but also another thing to consider is the style of the brush. Now, Jade, we've got a range of brushes here. Do any of these take your fancy straight away? Any one of these that you use in particular?
No, yeah. The angles obviously catch my eye.
The angle, you like the angle brush.
I love the angle.
Why do you like the angle brush?
I mean, the angles for me, with being an apprentice, have always helped me with my accuracy. You know, them tight corners that you're not quite sure of getting into, especially the long handled angles. I mean, I feel like I have more control of the brush.
So this type of handle does, and I agree, it definitely gives you a lot more control, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously having an angled brush, angled filament, it really does allow you to get into those tight corners. So that would be ideal for that, wouldn't it?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one that's caught my eye is obviously, again, the angle, but the short and stubbier handle for the tighter spaces.
Yeah, the cub brush.
The
yeah.
cub brush.
Okay, yeah. And a lot of people actually cut their handles off brushes, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of people who have done that. And have you done that yourself? Cut the brush, the handle off at all?
You have your tricky spaces, and it's not always ideal when you do have a long handle that doesn't quite allow you to get in there.
Definitely. Yeah, so these are really good. Like, I decorated a bathroom recently, and sort of getting behind the toilet, the basins, that kind of thing, you know, you end up hitting bits and pieces like the pedestal and the toilet. So yeah, they're really good for tighter spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of a get out of jail brush, this one.
These are a bit of a get out of jail brush. It's
and really good for everything. So you can actually use these for the different paints as well. So it's a bit of an all-rounder, but with a shorter handle.
fantastic.
Yeah. And what about these big ones then? So these are quite nice for laying off lots of paint, aren't they?
They are.
Obviously got a nice big 3-inch Monarch brush here, and you can really load up a lot of paint with these, can't you?
You can. You're not going into a huge room, gonna start cutting in with this tiny brush. You're gonna go for the Monarch.
Yeah, something a lot bigger. It's going to hold a lot more paint. Slightly different handle.
Slightly different handle, but I mean, the bigger handle, it's a bigger brush. It supports your wrist. It's nice and chunky. You're not gonna drop it. It's not thin. It's
Feels quite nicely balanced as well, doesn't it?
balanced. That's the word.
And how would you generally hold a brush? Because people hold it in so many different ways, don't they?
They do, but I mean, having a big sort of handle, you can hold it. It doesn't restrict you to holding it a certain way. You can just make your own.
Yeah. For me, it really depends on what I'm doing. I think if I was doing a ceiling line, I might hold it something like this, or if I'm just really laying it off quite quickly, I might just hold it like this. But it's comfortable whichever way you want to use it, I guess. Yeah. So we've got this brush here then. It's got exactly the same handle, but it's just a lot smaller, a lot thinner. So as we said already, this type of brush would hold a lot of paint, and we're looking at pretty much the same kind of brush here, but a lot smaller, holding less paint. The angle brush, as you've said already, you know, the advantage for me of using an angle brush, and like you've said yourself, using an angled brush over a flat brush, is you really can get into those corners, particularly what I found if you've got two walls which are a different colour and you're cutting in along the ceiling line and down between the two walls, that really allows you to get into there, doesn't it?
It's a nice crisp line, isn't it?
Absolutely, whereas something like that, it's going to be a little bit trickier. Yeah? So Jade, tell me, are you tempted with this selection of brushes here? Have you ever bought yourself a pack of brushes like this before?
I mean, I think I'd be lying if I said I've never. But the selection you have there is nothing to, the selection I have here. I would much prefer to buy something that is going to provide comfort, not just, finish.
Yeah.
We use these every day.
Yeah.
All day, every day. I'd much prefer to go for comfort and ease rather than a multi-pack of the same size.
I mean, this is about productivity, isn't it? And having, the brush that you feel comfortable with and is right for the job, compared to a multi-pack of brushes like this, which are essentially all the same flat brushes. They're not very good quality. They're just different sizes of the same thing. So really, buying a pack like this is just a waste of time, really, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah. So when you're choosing brushes for your toolkit, it's not just about the size of the brush that you're choosing, like these here. There's a lot more things that come into play, as you can see here, and what we've discussed in relation to the handle size, the angle of the brush, etc. And that will help towards your productivity and comfort.